Good day once again. My name is Graphics. Today we want to look at another aspect in mathematics, and that is what is called factorial. Now we say the factorial of a number is the product of that number and all other positive integers below the number. Now the symbol for factorial is given like this, like an exclamation mark, this way, right? So now let's assume if I have 5 factorial, right? 5 factorial simply means 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 0 factorial. We do ignore this 0 because 0 factorial is given as 1 and also 1 factorial is given as what? As 1 also, right? How come are we multiplying values from the value down to the lowest part of it in descending order? And this is what it simply means here. My 5 factorial, now look at another illustration here now. My 5 factorial is in the saying the value 5 multiplied by the 5 minus 1, because 5 minus 1 is what? Is 4, multiplied by the 5 minus 2, because 5 minus 2 is what? 3, multiplied by the 5 minus 3, 5 minus 3 is what? Is 2, multiplied by the 5 minus 4, 5 minus 4 is what? Is 1, multiply by the 5 minus 5, 5 minus 5 is what? 0. And since I'm ending there, I'll put factorial there. So I can simply write this as saying 5 bracket 5 minus 1 bracket 5 minus 2 bracket 5 minus 3 bracket 5 minus 4 bracket 5 minus 5 factorial. So to give us, that is what brought about this, right? So what's really happening? It means that if I now have my minus, so now what about if I have my minus 5 factorial? At every instance I'll place it. I'm having minus 5, I'll write it out first, bracket minus 5 minus 1 bracket minus 5 minus 2 bracket minus 5 minus 3 bracket minus 5 minus 4 bracket minus 5 minus 5 factorial. And this will give me minus 5 times minus 5 minus 1 will give you minus 6, minus 5 minus 2 will give you minus 7, minus 5 minus 3 will give you minus 8, minus 5 minus 4 will give you minus 9, minus 5 minus 5 will give you minus 10. So any word factorial. So that means that whenever you have a positive value, it decreases, and whenever you have a negative value, it increases. So if you notice it, negative 5 is increasing to negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10. But if I have a positive integer, it's decreasing towards 0. So if you notice that the factorial of a positive integer decreases positively, just like in 5 factorial, it's decreasing positively. Similarly, the factorial of a negative integer decreases negatively. So prefer writing the word decreases negatively. How? If I have my minus 5 factorial, I'll be having minus 5 times minus 6 times minus 7 times minus 8 times minus 9 times minus 10 times minus 11. Anywhere I end, I put my factorial there. So it increases negatively, it increases negatively, just like I showed earlier here. So hence, therefore, with what we have here, if I have my n factorial, just like I have my 5 factorial, first of all write down the value n, then the next one will be, just like say 5 minus 1, it will be n minus 1, this one will be n minus 2, just like we have 5 minus 2, this one will be n minus 3, n minus 4, n minus 5, anywhere n, I just put my factorial. So this you see here is the general formula for what? For factorial, for n factorial. So just like when I have my 5 factorial to be equals to what? 5 times 5 minus 1 factorial. Similarly, my n factorial will be equals to what? N factorial will be equals to what? N bracket what? N minus 1 factorial. Because this guy here will give me 5 times 4 factorial. I will know 4 factorial is. 4 factorial means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 and so on. So if we move forward, my 5 factorial here can also be 5 times 5 minus 1 times 5 minus 2. Just like my n factorial will be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial, wherever n I put factorial. And this can be written as saying 5 times 4 times 3 factorial. I will know 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. That's okay. And so on and so forth. So depending on where I want to end. Anywhere I end, if I end at n minus 3, I'll put factorial there. If I end at n minus 4, I'll put factorial there. Now let's just take this example and see how it goes. So example 1. Example 1. Right? If I have 5 factorial, or let me say 8 factorial, all over what? 5 factorial. Right? It is going to give me, I'll move 8 until I get to the 5. It will give me 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. All over what? 5 factorial. The reason I'm doing this is because it takes factorial to equate a factorial. Right? So since my denominator is 5 factorial, I'm going to end my 8 as 5 factorial instead of going to 1, which will be wasting our time. So I will end it here. At this long run, my 8 times 7 times 6 is giving me what? 336. Right? Also, I can have this also by saying my 5 factorial, all over 3 factorial 2 factorial, and this will give me, I can choose any of them. It can be 5 times 4 times 3 factorial all over what? 3 factorial 2 factorial. It takes a factorial to equal to factorial. You need to know that 3 factorial is not equals to what? 3. 3 factorial is 6, right? And 3 remain 3. So whenever you compare both of them together, so this will now give me 5 times 4 all over 2 factorial. They're saying 2 times 1, right? 2 times 1 is what? 2. So I'm going to be having 20 all over 2, and that will give me what? 10. That's my answer there. Now let's go to the next category here, which will be this. We know very well that my n factorial is n bracket n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, n minus 4, n minus 5, n minus 6 till infinity. Anyway, I stop at factorial, right? What about n minus 1 factorial? So you see, at this place I started with n. Now here too I'm going to start with what? N minus 1. Right? I'll continue. N minus 1 minus 1 bracket n minus 1 minus 2 bracket n minus 1 minus 3 n minus 1 minus 4 n minus 1 minus 5, then n minus 1 minus 6. At every instance, the value I'll continue subtracting 1 from them until I get to the final point where I put factorial. And this will now give me n minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 is what? N minus 2 minus 1 minus 2 is what? N minus 3. We have n minus 4, n minus 5, n minus 6, n minus 7 factorial. So this is how we are moving. What about if I have my n plus 2 factorial? What I'll do is I'll start with the value itself, n plus 2, then I'll continue moving. N plus 2 minus 1, subtracting 1 at every instance. N plus 2 minus 2, n plus 2 minus 3, n plus 2 minus 4, till infinity. Anyway, I stop, I put bracket there, factorial there. And this will give me n plus 2. Now, n plus 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, so n plus 1. Next one is 2 minus 2 is 0, so n plus 0 is n. The next one is 2 minus 3 is minus 1, so we have been left with what? N minus 1, right? And this one will give me n minus 2 factorial, because 2 minus 4 is what? Minus 2. So this is how we go about it. So whenever you're given a value, you start from that value and start subtracting. So that is about factorial. And if this video was helpful, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thank you very much.